I'm Pia Muehlenbeck and welcome back to our channel. Today you're not going to be seeing Kane, you're just going to be getting ready with me. So I have an event that I'm about to run to and I just thought, you know what, I haven't checked in with you guys for a little while, so why not just show you guys how I'm getting ready and my look for today. This is the final look and I want to show you how I go from this to this. Alrighty, well let's jump straight into it. I'm just going to quickly pin my hair back. And I'm going to start off with a little moisturizer and some under eye cream that I'm just going to dab on there softly and kind of leave on there for a couple of minutes to dry. Now I am going to mention all of the products in the description below, so if I don't mention anything by name, just have a look through the description and you'll find what you're after. Now with my eye tone cream, I'm just going to put that on this finger here, and rather than rubbing, you just want to dab it under the eyes. And just wait for that to dry for a sec. Okay, now once that feels nicely soaked in, I'm just gonna prime. This is just a First Base foundation primer. So I'm just gonna grab a little dollop of that and put that on top of my moisturizer. And that's just gonna create a really nice even canvas for my foundation to just glide on. And now foundation. I honestly always come back to this one. I just love it so much. It's not actually a full coverage, like it's pretty light coverage, but it's the Georgio Armani Maestro foundation. But honestly, I just feel like it evens everything out and it just makes my face feel like velvety smooth. Like it's matte, but it's still smooth. So I just absolutely adore this. So with this one, I'm actually gonna use my hands today. I've been doing that a lot more lately just with the sort of foundation base layer, and I just feel like your own hands can kind of make it blend with your face a little bit better. Like it doesn't look like it's foundation that's sort of sitting on top of your skin, but rather it's sort of blended in. Ooh. See how nice that looks? So if I didn't have an event on today, I would literally just put on a little bit of bronzer and some brows and a little mascara. And I should probably do a tutorial of just my go-to day-to-day look, which is super, super simple. But because we are going to an event and there's going to be a lot of photography and I do have to go from kind of afternoon all the way through to night, so I want to make sure that my face really stays and doesn't kind of crack or crease or, you know, smudge off or anything. So I'm going to go a little bit heavier, but I am actually going to keep it looking natural. So this is not going to look crazy caked on or anything, but it's going to stay really, really well. I'm going to go straight in with a dark contour. This is just a really dark matte concealer, and I literally just get a brush and kind of frame my face with it. I like to put a fair bit on the forehead and all the places that would make me look sun-kissed. So I don't necessarily just contour for like, you know, to like chisel out my cheekbones and stuff like that, but I like to actually pop a little bit on my nose and forehead just to make me look, yeah, like I've been hanging out in the sun and have, I don't know, some sort of summer holiday going on when in fact I'm super pale. I just want to deepen my tan down here a little bit, so I'm going to put a little bit of foundation and a little bit of that dark concealer and just smoosh it in and blend it. Now, before I even blend out my darker contour, I'm going to actually put a highlight right under my eyes. So that's going to conceal the dark circles and also be part of the contour. And now I just blend it all together. So I start with the light bits and then blend out into the darker areas. Now, if you feel like you've gone a little bit overboard with the dark contour, which in this case I most certainly have, I'm just going to get a little bit of the foundation that I put on earlier and actually pop it onto my beauty blender. And then I'm going to start towards the inner areas where the lighter highlight is and blend that out a bit with the foundation. And you can just reapply the concealer until you're happy with what it looks like on the under eyes. And then we're actually going to bake. Now I want to bake my foundation a little bit because I am going to be taking a lot of photos, and I really find that it just smooths out the skin and it also keeps my skin looking really matte. I tend to have this sort of skin that can go really quite shiny, especially in photos. So I'm kind of new to this whole baking thing, but honestly I don't know how I lived before it. So basically what you want to do is, as soon as you've patted down your under eye foundation and your, you know, concealer and highlighter and things like that, before you smile and create any lines, which is not what I have done, so before you smile, you have to kind of pat it all out, make sure there are no lines going on, and then with a different beauty blender, just grab some translucent powder, dip it in pretty heavily, and then just tap it right under the eyes, quite liberally. Just on my jawline as well, a little bit sort of on my T-zone there. And to actually get your eyeshadow to stay with that, see how right now I've got like a bit of a crease there on my eyelid where I've just been creasing my lid, obviously, from opening my eyes. Now to stop that from happening with your eyeshadow, you can actually bake a little bit on top of your lids. So if you've got a bit of a base foundation on there, just smooth it out and pop a bit of that translucent powder right on the crease. Leave that there for a couple of minutes, and then you can just brush that off and put eyeshadow on, and it's not going to crease all day. So while I've got that sitting away baking nicely, I'm going to start working on my eyebrows, and I'm using this cool little pen by Model Co. It's actually the Hailey Baldwin for Model Co collab, and it's cool because on this side here you've got like a sort of a pencil with color, and on this side here you've got a little brush with setting gel. So it's got everything you need. Now, a while ago, I actually had my eyebrows like tattooed, like feather tattooed, but it has faded so much. So I still need to color them on a day-to-day basis, but at least now I kind of use this as a template. And I like to go pretty power brows. Alright, so that's plenty of time for the baking there to set in, and to remove that, I'm just going to get a bushy eyeshadow brush and my Huda Beauty palette, and I'm going to grab that kind of skin tone light creamy color. It's actually called Bay. And I'm just going to sort of softly tap all that translucent powder away. And now I'm going to go right in with some eyeshadow. So this color here, Sandalwood, oh, it is just such a good color. It is like a really smoky, kind of earthy color. And I'm going to tap that with a flat brush all the way under my eye. Then I'm going to switch brushes to something even more bushy. Ah! Then I'm going to switch brushes to something even more bushy, but I'm going to stick with that same sandalwood color and bring it all the way around my eye, kind of like a halo effect. So I'm going to start here by tapping in the corner there and just joining it with what I've drawn underneath, and then blending it out into the crease area. And now that I've blended the lids in really nicely, I'm just gonna grab with a super pointy brush some of this henna color here, which is kind of like a darker version, and I'm going to use that as eyeliner. Rather than using actual eyeliner on the top of my lids, I'm just gonna gently tap that along my lash line. And this is a really great tip if you're someone who's not super comfortable with liner. Like for me, a lot of the time I find liner a little bit fiddly, and especially if you're in a hurry and you don't have time to kind of make a perfect line, I like to use shadow, just a darker color of the shadow and a real nice little pointed brush like that. And you can kind of then blend it out, and it doesn't matter if it's a little bit messy. And it's a lot easier to kind of trace your lash line like that with a brush. And then you've got some nice definition on your lash line anyway. And I'm gonna bring a little bit of that into the lower lash line. And then I'm gonna use this to just blend it out a bit. Okay, so the time has come to remove my baking under eyes and a little tiny bit on my forehead. And to do that, I'm just gonna get a really big foundation sort of powder brush and a pressed foundation. Now, unfortunately, this one here has exploded on me, so I'm gonna have to be really careful with it. And I'm gonna start here and just gently brush that away. And you can just really softly flick all the translucent powder away. I'm almost like barely touching my face. I'm just flicking it off. Okay, and now I have a really nice smooth under eye area, and I'm just going to put some powder bronzer and then a little bit of blush, and then my face is all done. So to bronze my face, I'm going to use this NYX contour palette here and just dab a little bit of that color. And then some of this gorgeous Lush palette. Look at that. Now I'm actually going to go over my sandalwood lid here a little bit, and then I'm just going to pop a black eyeliner pencil on my waterline and mascara. So for lips, I'm going to use this little Model Co liner, which I love because it actually comes with a sharpener on the lid, which I just think is so handy, because if you're traveling or something and you didn't bring a sharpener, sometimes that's so annoying. And I'm going to finish my lips off with these Lip Lingerie from NYX. This one is a slightly lighter color, which I'm going to dab into the middle. And then this one is my favorite color. It's called Cashmere Silk. And for the finishing touch, I'm going to do a little highlight down my nose, and I'm going to use this liquid illuminator by Iconic. It is so cool. Watch, I'll put it on my hand. It's like robot makeup. Look at that. Anywho, I'm going to pick that up with a little flat, pointy kind of brush. And I'm just going to draw little dashes down my nose. Okay, and that is the makeup complete. And now I'm going to pop in some hair. So because this afternoon's event is quite bohemian, I really want to wear my extensions today. So I'm just going to quickly pop them in, and I'm blending two different colors. One sec, I'll show you. So I have 2 sets of my LUXY hair extensions, and I literally blend these together to basically create my hair color. So this is a little bit tricky, but once you do it, it really, really looks great. So I want to start off by separating just a tiny little bit of hair at the bottom. Now, I'm going to show you a bit of a trick. If you have really, really short hair, you actually pin this up so it doesn't kind of poke through underneath your extensions. So to do that, I'm just going to spritz it with a bit of hairspray. So I've got some grit and texture there. Then I'm just going to back comb it. And then I'm pretty much going to grab all that and just twist it around a little bit and sort of tuck it up in here. I'm going to keep the pieces in front of your ear hanging out. Now this is where I'm going to clip the first set of extensions really quite low. But basically by clipping this up, it means that you're not going to have those little short bob bits poking through and making it really obvious that you have extensions in. So I'm going to start with one of the dark colors because my hair underneath is actually quite dark. So I'm picking this one up. And then I'm going to go straight in with one of the blonder ones. Now the idea of this is to basically lay them on top of each other and keep interspersing the lighter color and the darker color so that they mix together a little bit so that you have more of a highlighted sort of balayage effect. Then you just release a little bit more. This one you spray and back comb a bit, but we're not going to clip this one away. This one is going to start blending with our hair. So you kind of have to think about it as like the dark ones will go underneath and then every time I place a dark one, I'm going to place a light one on top, which will just kind of create that effect that underneath I've got the darker roots and then my highlights are on top of those. Okay, so now all the extensions are in, and I'm just going to throw some curls in there, and then we are done. So when you get to the top part, you just have to make sure that you're curling your hair with the extensions. You don't want your hair kind of flicking out, because then you'll have little straight bits that make it quite obvious that your hair is not the extension hair. So what you want to do is just, sometimes I even use the longer pieces to kind of curl over the top of my hair if it's kind of flicking out. But you want one cohesive curl like that. Okay, and that is the final curl. So you can see once you start curling it already that the blonde ombre and the brown ombre really start to mix together, and they just turn into this really nice shiny looking balayage. So I'm going to just separate these curls a little with my hands. I haven't decided whether or not I want to brush through them yet. Okay, so I have decided that I want to brush this out and make it one of those really soft, wavy looks. And ta-da! That is my final look for this afternoon's event. I hope you guys like it. I'm actually running a little bit late now, so I have to run out the door. But yeah, so basically I have blended 2 sets of LUXY hair extensions. If you do want to try them, guys, I have a discount code for you, so I'll leave a link in the description below for you. And yeah, with my makeup, it is just pretty natural and earthy kind of colors. It's weird because right now here is autumn, but it's a really, really beautiful day outside. So I did want it to look kind of fresh and summery, and it's really bronzy. So that is my look for today, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!